Hey guys, one of my favorite comps, and you've seen it a ton of times, has been the Catacomb Crasher comp. Really, the core minions to this is McCall, the Catacomb Crasher, Titus, and normally you do Cadaver Caretaker. I guess one of the best filler units to this is the 4-drop Abomination. And what you generally do is you have your McCall proc the Cadaver Caretaker, and that will proc the 4 summons. And with the rest of the board, you get a bunch of buffs from the Catacomb Crasher, Titus doubling the Death Riders, and then you get a single really big Abomination, and you just have these permanent stats that are getting a lot of buffs every turn. One of the heroes that does this exceptionally well, and if you haven't seen it already, is Sneed's. What Sneed's does is it has a 1-drop hero power, or a 1-cost hero power that lets you put a Death Rattle on any minion. So this gives you a couple of different ways of flexing from the normal comp that you're doing with the normal Cadaver Caretaker. Instead, what you can do is depending on the lobby, there's a lot of 1-drops that have summons, and generally putting 1-drop summons and starting them earlier are going to be a lot more efficient at putting a single minion that handles your Death Rattle summonings for the comp, rather than splitting it up like you normally do when you do the Cadaver Caretaker. Normally that's just not enough summons that you end up running 2 Cadaver Caretakers. Well, if you're doing Sneeds, you can just put something like 10, 20 summons on this one thing, proccing with the Titus, and you're just getting a ton of that summons every turn. You can potentially reasonably have a summon every turn getting added to this, and we've kind of talked about the different scaling in the last couple of videos, and this is another exponential scaling comp where you can have one Catacomb Crasher, well, you double it if you play a second. You can have one Titus, you double your stats if you have another, and every summon you're putting on is another buff that's getting those multiplicative effects. So yeah, really good comp. I guess the other thing I want to point out is how much work Mug of the Spire ends up doing in this comp. Normally you'll have a bunch of little summon guys at the beginning of this comp, and doing Mug of the Spire in this ends up getting you a couple like 100 attack tokens that can easily trade off a couple minions and make your fights a lot smoother. And then I guess finally the last thing to think about with this comp is the key minions you're rolling for are on 5. That's why you'll see I ended up holding on to some of the beast minions, because there is always the flexibility of you potentially going into beasts just because they're also a Tavern Tier 5 comp. They play a lot of similar minions, so taking McCall and Titus are both going to be really secure in these lobbies. And you can kind of transition to self-damage beasts now. You'll see this video was from before 30.6, so at the time Leapers was the other option, and you'll see a couple of the players were playing Leapers, but that was the other option that you could play. But having in these lobbies where you can potentially have multiple outs is really key to making sure that you do a little bit better. Having it so you have 2 or 3 minions that you can be looking for rather than just a single one, and having a couple minions that you can take in and out of your comp to upgrade your board. You'll see I ended up taking the 9/3 beast and putting it over, like a 1/1 token, because why not? It gives you the more outs that you can play for, and it's a net -2 gold that, potentially goes to 2 rolls, but the amount of gold you save by not having to roll for one specific minion and double your chances is really big. There's a couple tools out there. I know Jeef has one on the HSBG site for trying to see your odds of finding particular minions on certain tavern tiers, and you'll see how much higher of a chance you have if you start playing to 3, 4, sometimes even 5 outs rather than only thinking about Titus or one key minion in particular. One of the biggest traps in the current patch is people specifically looking for Titus or specifically looking for Brand because they think they're already playing Murlocs, or they think they're already playing Beast, or they think they're already playing Undead. Instead, staying flexible until you have a comp that is fully enabled is really important. With this comp, it's not enabled until you have either the Catacomb Crasher and Summons, or if you have, or going like the Beast route until you have the self-damage, the bird, and then what's it called, the Tregor, that's the 4-drop. Having those 2 flexible spots to play from that have the overlapping minions is a much safer way to play, rather than saying, hey, I have one of them, I'm forced into that comp. And that's why you'll see that I was flexing the 2 until something like turn 8 or 9, until was when I finally got a secure comp and was able to play from there. So hopefully it helps you guys. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight into how some of the better players are out there playing the game. Forcing comps will always be one of the worst mistakes you can make that I see a lot of people doing. It was most common with leavers, and I imagine it's going to keep happening, and even when leavers are gone. So good luck out there, guys. Hopefully you're enjoying the new patch. I put a video out there for kind of my predictions, and after playing for about a day, I think most of my predictions were good. I'll probably be doing a follow-up video in the next week or so, just once there's some more numbers out there for how it looks like the patch is actually doing compared to my predictions. But so far, I think there's only one or two things that really stuck out as me getting wrong, and I think most of them I've been pretty close on. So hopefully you're enjoying the patch. Good luck on your climbs. See you out there. Bye.